Hey, Julie. Hey, Karen.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I don't know why there's two instances in my name.
Hello.
Yay, technology.
Only one has sound coming through. Or do you want me to kick the
That's,
other one out?
yeah, if you can, that would be swell. I don't know what's going on. Sweet.
Imposter.
Bastard. Wonderful. Um, Hi everyone. Hi. Happy Monday. I don't think we've been a Monday board meeting in a really long
Right.
time. Um, so given that Sarah's not here, I think we can skip the NRCS updates. Save this a little bit of time. Richard and Vicky, do you
Look,
guys?
Sarah's here.
Oh, Sarah's here. Never mind.
And Linda's here.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Okay. You come on in. Sorry.
Sarah is temporarily indisposed.
There's so many extra I printed twice. 20 copies of this if anybody wants one to take home.
Put it in the compost bin.
Welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
How are your trout?
Yes, oh, so good. They swam away really fast.
Excellent.
And so far, the mink we have so many things, we're gonna eat them. So you have to buy them every, we're just feeding the mink and the otter.
Is it?
It's a good use of
We have
Responsibility,
helpful.
social responsibility.
It's a really good one, much to my husband's dismay, a lot of students. He's all broken out today.
Oh.
As we pointed our district seedlings and did it in the little area where there's some sumac.
Oh.
And he's all broken in.
Mhm.
And it's not poison sumac, it's just, he's just very sensitive.
That sucks.
It's a Benadryl day for Greg.
Does it make sense for you guys to go and
Yeah.
Sarah can join when she's
Yeah, I don't have too much to report really,
okay.
because our last finance meeting that I went to was in March.
Okay.
And you got that information I sent up. I had to recuse myself from the vote because it was two projects from our county. And there was some other, and Lauren had sent in a revised budget on it. So they looked at it this time and they're favorable to it, but they still had a few little questions there.
Yeah, there seems to, so there's like this NRCC for the enhancement grants for like clean water projects. They originally didn't fund two of our Lake Carmi projects for implementation, though they funded final design for the projects. And so we had a conversation and we updated our budget a little bit. And I explained about Lake Carmi. And they're now funded.
Okay, good.
So yes, there was a revision with this.
There was a revision, and then, like I mentioned, I didn't vote for our counties, but, I pitched it pretty good and they were okay.
Do we know how much we got from the legislature in the final? Was it 912? Is that what I'd heard, or 962 or something like
Nine
that?
sixty-two.
Yeah,
what's
and they're just gonna
currently in
split
the
it
budget.
equally amongst all the districts. That's the plan.
That's my understanding. Splitting it like the same as last year, which
But none of that 350 that has been one-time funding in the past has gone towards specific needs, and that's not the case this year.
also was not the case last year. They just let us do whatever
Okay.
we needed.
Okay.
Last year, the fiscal year 26 as well.
The only thing I just want for a comment is don't get too heavily involved with Lake Carmine. You're gonna climb on your back and you're gonna be taking care of the whole freaking thing.
I was reading that it's the water there is
Oh, the
cleaner
water
than
cleaned
it's
up.
ever been.
Well, they did the alum treatment.
Yeah.
Did the alum treatment?
Preliminary studies do show that there is increased visibility to depths farther than ever before,
Right.
but that,
Cool.
be cautioned, preliminary.
Well, we can
Just
get
underway.
optimistic. We can be
Yes.
optimistic, Sarah.
I know, it is.
We're
It is.
starting the year in a good place.
Yeah. Give and take here.
VACD is a board meeting tomorrow morning. It's starting at 10. Encourage everybody to participate if you can. I'll be on representing the district and we'll confirm how much money is available to the districts, but I'm pretty sure it's 962 or something like that, divided equally amongst the 14 districts this year.
Yes,
So.
yes.
Hopefully that's what it is. That's all I had. We haven't had any other meetings. We had an executive committee meeting, but nothing else.
Okay, now that Sarah's here,
You're gonna have to,
we'll have to wait.
yep, sorry.
Okay.
Just been meetings all day.
Can you send me your presentation link again?
Well, a day like this. I'm sorry, that sucks.
So we might as well, do the minutes.
Sure.
Got a few months here, a few minutes to vote on. Do you want individual votes or blanket cover?
Actually, sorry, this is my fault. I skipped something. I just wanted to share that there's information about when you should go into executive session. I included, just want to make sure everybody saw that we can go into executive session.
We do have everybody. Hey, Mark.
After making a specific finding that premature general public knowledge would clearly place the public body or person involved at substantial disadvantage regarding contracts, but otherwise most procurement should take place in a public setting. Negotiation of real estate. So we can go into executive session and we're talking about that. And then there's also information about hiring and staff issues, basically. So we have this list now for whenever we have questions about when to go into executive session or not.
Thank you for getting that.
Yes.
Is that a list you can send to me?
Yes,
Do you have another meeting agenda?
yes, I have so many. Printed 20, is why not? So, there's that. Sarah, are you up and running yet?
This is no internet.
No. You connected recent? Yeah, yep, it is that. Okay. So I'll go to the minutes and I think,
Individual?
doing them all together is fine, as long as we say the names.
All right, so we're looking for approval on, March 18th, 26th, March 30th, 26th, and April 22nd of 26th. Board meetings, if there isn't any corrections or adjustments made to the meetings, I'd like to see a vote to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second, all in favor,
Aye.
Hi.
motion carried.
And then one other detail on here, we talked loosely and maybe individually, we do have 3 lovely associate supervisors who've been coming to board meetings, since the fall. And just wanted to officially just have a conversation about if we would like to also pay them the per diem and the mileage that, voting members are getting.
Are we allowed to?
We are allowed to.
Yeah. I said yes then.
I say that.
If they make the effort, I'm willing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see any, does anyone see a downside other than fiscally? And it's not a huge,
I was gonna say budgetary wise, you're set, so.
Yeah.
It's not gonna put us out of business.
make a motion to, extend
Except
per diem and mileage. to-
Okay.
I'll second.
Associate
I'll second.
supervisor.
Dan first, Vicky second, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Wonderful.
It's easy.
Thanks, everybody. I do have records of when everyone was here, so I'll work on backfilling some information. It is taxable income over $600 a year. If you'd like to not accept it, you're also welcome to do that. The mileage is not taxable income, so that is a separate thing. And I'm happy to talk with anyone at any point in time about that.
599 a year.
I wouldn't blame anybody. Only come to 6 meetings. Sarah.
Getting.
Okay. Great. I can jump to something else that's not officially on here either. but wanted to kind of get a quick pulse. We're already thinking about the tree sale for next year, and we are considering bumping it a week later. The second weekend of May. That would be awesome.
I think it would be awesome too.
I think it'd be awesome too, Lauren.
I always wondered why it was the first weekend
Oh.
in May, because that's Green Up Day.
I also am very sad I've never gotten to do Green Up Day.
Plus mine just sit there the whole 10 days. I'm not,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
it seems like there's a resounding, we'd like it to move a weekend
Yeah.
later.
It's Mother's Day weekend, a weekend later.
It
It's not a
is.
challenge for anybody.
Yeah, go buy mom a tree.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't have any issues
Bring
with
her
that,
right
and I
home.
think
it could-
everybody would,
American chestnut.
the odds of the weather being slightly better a week later are great, right?
Yes.
Hard telling, but
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Julie, do you have anything to say? I saw you came off mute.
I was just gonna say, I saw so many people on social media getting their mom plants and trees for Mother's Day, so
Okay.
I love
Good
that.
marketing angle.
Yep.
Great.
The only consideration is that it might make it more difficult to rent a public space. But March.
If you do it 9 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask though, how did Hudax go? Have you already discussed this?
I think it's successful. We're still like processing and debriefing, and
Yeah.
I think there's diversity of feelings about it. So it's definitely a discussion about
Okay.
what's in next year.
Parking was hard.
I was
think.
gonna say that was the
Parking was hard.
biggest complaint I heard.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I did hear that it flowed well. It was set up nicely.
Yeah. Oh, it was
I showed up
nice.
after you were sent home.
There was no.
Yeah, I had a bad day.
Yeah. Is that-
Did you go home?
I did,
Okay.
right after you guys left. I went
Okay,
home.
good.
But that's also an amazing thing that she can go home and
Yeah, it went great. They did a
Yeah.
great job. I had a basil bagel episode and needed to leave. So
Did you drive
You're
yourself?
wrong.
There's a possibility,
I ate
I
depending,
have been
first.
driving, but I was.
depending how the Franklin County Field Days goes, that may be available next year. Don't know.
we can talk about that in hushed tones later.
I mean, you can always contact Joe Flynn directly and see if you could lease that space.
Sure.
Oh, you're talking about the old space. Huh?
Well, according to what I know, nobody's going in there. They don't have
That's right.
anybody in queue to go in there, but let's not have our fair there.
Tells the truth.
Okay.
You just don't need a motion for the.
We don't. I don't think so. I think as long as nobody's like firmly opposed to it, we still gotta play with some stuff. And see where we'll end up, and who knows where we'll end up, but there's like a training that weekend next year. I think it would help with the balsam fir delivery from Canada. It might help with a couple other options, so.
They came from Quebec City.
They did. Steve Hardy drove them down for us.
Like 300 miles.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he buys his own too. He has his own Christmas tree farm. He goes up anyway. He's just been very kind the last couple of years to include
they're
2,500 trees for
definitely
us.
winter hardy.
They're a nice tree. Okay. Sarah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for that. I have been in meetings all day and I wanted to accurately report how the Franklin local pool did. And we will be expending all of the 1.5 million. Plus a little bit more. Because just of the way the estimates are working out. Now I say that today, as we move along and estimates change, the numbers could fluctuate, but for all intents and purposes, we are spending it all. I don't know if you want to know who those folks are. I can verbally say, I can send Lauren the list.
This is a public meeting,
Okay,
so I don't
So,
think that you should.
okay. I will send you a list so you're aware of who.
That sounds great.
And then, we are already working on fiscal year 27. The appendix D1 training, it is recorded, so if you missed it, you can go back, great. I'm assuming there will be, and we have a date already set aside to talk, so Franklin will definitely be pushing forward to FY 27. Be forewarned, there will be changes. Another acronym, IMPAC, IMPAC. It's a program reassessment thing. There's a lot of different changes coming down the pipe daily from all that stuff, so just hold that in your brains when I tell you one thing and then turn around and tell you something different. It's not me. do the best we can to navigate everything moving forward with the changes. But I know it's still a priority for local lead. It's just gonna work a little bit differently with the system that we have and that we're working with. Other than that, we have gotten our pre-approvals for equip, so we're moving forward with those, obligating those. Our CSP deadline is just around the corner, and by the end of the month, we should know everything that's approved for that. And then it's contracting,
What's CSP?
Conservation Stewardship
Right.
Program. And then it's working to get those into contracts on top of managing the existing workload. Spring construction has arrived. We are pushing forward a multitude of projects, and just trying to get folks to do their spring practices. Again, because of impact, contract management has changed some. Our customers might feel a little bit more push to get things done as scheduled. That's what they're gonna feel.
Is that coming from above?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. We are not to do modifications to reschedule practices. So we have to put it in a CPA 13, which makes it harder to manage in the system because now I can't just go and look at the contract. I have to go look at other notes. I gotta, compile it all together to figure out, is it really off track or is it just off track because the system won't, they're telling us we can't do a mod to do rescheduling because of a natural event like too much rain or too wet to put the cover crop in, and is causing quite a bit of unrest in my brain of how I manage my contracts, because I do like to get them done. I don't like to see things way behind schedule, and now my brain's freaking out because that's all I'm gonna see. So I have informed my zone. They will probably be seeing a little bit more of micromanaging from me because I'm gonna be pushing them to push their customers to get stuff done. This administration wants farmers working with us that wants to work with us and not just to keep putting things off or having lingering contracts for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. But on the flip side, they want us to do whole farm assessments and put everything into one contract. Pendulum, back and forth, back and forth. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure they'll learn as we are learning of different things that do and don't work within our systems and how it looks. It pushes farmers first in trying to streamline everything for them. I tell you, it's not streamlining it for us. But we're doing what we can do to get conservation on the ground. We still have a lot of customers to work with, huge backlogs. I've not seen backlogs like this in quite some time. Yeah. So fiscal year 27 should be another fun roller coaster ride as we finish riding the roller coaster from fiscal year 26.
Good thing you like fun.
I do. And that's pretty much all the updates I have.
Great. Maria.
Yeah.
I'll pull up your presentation. Take it away,
All right.
tell me when to advance.
Hi. Hi, guys. My name is Maria. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an agricultural program specialist here at the district. I've lived in Vermont for about 3 to 4 years, and I was an AmeriCorps member at Camp Dream in Fletcher for 6 months in 2022, summer of 2021, and I was also an Eco AmeriCorps member at the Vermont Agency of Agriculture prior to joining the district. Work on a lot of things ag related, do a lot of pay for performance work with farmers. I update nutrient management plans and walk through NMP class with new farmers. I update the guide to assistance for ag producers. I am also leading internal community engagement meetings. I'm applying to grants to continue funding our work with flower farmers, and I assist farmers with a lot of grant applications, and I also do some work with Molly Varner in the Grand Isle County. This week is a lot of tree plantings, and also making some progress on NMP updates. I got a site visit in North Hero with Molly on Wednesday, and we're starting to plan for the 2027 version of the Ag Guide, which is very exciting. Speaking of the Ag Guide, I was the main person who updated the Ag Guide in 2026, which really just involves coordinating with a lot of our partners, getting that into a new template, making sure it looks pretty. A lot of help from Dorothy and Lauren on that part. And new this year, we also included a page on each conservation district in the state. New this year is also a funding matrix. And so what we have is each program is categorized into a whole long list, and there's also larger categories for each of the subcategories. And so there's the type of assistance and what the program.
Does it say Fantastic Farmer Award?
Yeah, through the Agency of Ag, I think.
Who decides on that?
Agency of Ag.
Agency of Ag.
On what?
And how fantastic they
Criteria.
are.
Okay,
Completely new in the
Sometimes they want to give money away.
okay, all right.
I find that a lot of times it can be hard for farmers to toot their own horn.
All right,
So
Well,
A $5,000 grant
yeah.
recognizes one farmer who has displayed these virtues. Interesting.
What virtues of being fantastic?
Fantastic.
hard to toot your own horn.
Yeah, I don't want to take away Maria's.
Yeah.
But there is, if you Google, you can go to Agency of Ag Food and Market site and see the requirements.
That is a long list, and that's just Agency of Ag.
This is just one page.
this is just one page.
7, 8-page matrix.
Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely a project, but I've heard that farmers are really excited about it.
When
Yeah,
you look
good
at
job.
that, what stands out right there? What should we be seeing?
I think if you are a farmer who is looking for grants related to grazing, then you can say like, oh, farm agronomic practices is checked under the grazing.
Okay,
So something like that.
Kind of like a fancy table of contents.
okay,
And what you could get, if you were said farmer, what you could get out of it is in the white column, like what
Yeah,
what
and then,
you're
like,
being provided.
Is it financial assistance? Is it technical assistance? We do have some like resource directories on there too. So
and a farmer that would make sense to a farmer, right there, what we're looking at,
Makes
Frosting of
more,
fingers,
makes
yes.
more sense than what it used to be like.
okay.
Yes.
And there's.
We
the
have
app
hard
coming.
copies available, right?
Yeah,
I'd love to have one if you have any available.
I think we're printing 200 more that we should be getting this week, so.
Okay.
we ran out already.
Yeah.
Seems like a fairly efficient way of cataloging very inefficient and for like a lot of information.
The Ag Guide has 127 programs in it. There are 127 Vermont programs for farmers. It makes no sense.
Why there's so many programs?
Yes,
Does that include the federal programs?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of a farmer who isn't blurry-eyed by looking at just a corner of this page.
So we,
'Cause- And like.
we sit down with them.
Yeah,
to go
okay.
through
And
this.
yes, I understand that concern, and that's also in the back of my mind. But like Lauren said, we do sit down with them.
Not
And-
about the farmer, about the information, not the.
There's too much
Yeah,
information.
yeah,
There's too many
way too much
programs.
There's too many, that's what I
Yeah,
wanna say.
but this document has allowed them to see in one place, in a sense,
I see.
all the programs out there. Because
Gotcha.
one of the biggest question is, what is there?
Right.
And the
Okay.
work they've done to compile all this helps at least
Okay.
answer that, to get them
Bless
going,
you. Yay.
to then
Good
Yeah.
job.
hopefully identify a program
Yeah.
that would work
Yeah,
for whatever their situation is.
Yeah. And you'd be
Yeah,
able
I-
to say, oh, you qualify for this and maybe this and this and this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so as I'm doing a site visit with the farmer and.
Oh,
they're
I see.
asking about like what
Okay,
they're
got it.
interested in,
Yeah.
I can point
It's
to
a quick
a
one.
certain page. In the ad guide and say like, you
Got it.
might be a really great fit for the.
And who paid for us to update this?
Agency bag.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just say, I've been the one reading, looking for the grants, and I love this. I mean, I'm a data person, so I look at this chart and it makes total sense. But like, I've been the one reading through the grants, and you read the title and you think this is going to be amazing, and then you take the time to read through it and you realize like, oh, it's not the right type of funding. So like, this is really, really cool.
Great.
Oh, it's about searching for scholarships.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Scholarships
That's
for
all right.
farming, yeah.
Yeah. But that might be a great way to explain it too, because farmers are bad to.
I've also done a lot of work, kind of just compiling the data showing the amount of work that the district has done, working with our farms who are in the pay for performance program, and coming up with various tables and charts in how many acres each farm has been enrolled in throughout the years, as well as their payments for stewardship and like their actual assessment payments as well. In 2025, farms received over $800,000 in total, and that was $780,000 to farms in Franklin County. And in Franklin County, we assisted farms managing almost 13,000 acres,
Wow.
which is really exciting.
You had about half the farms in the whole state program in Franklin County.
Really?
that one more time?
It helps to be a
What did you
beef
say?
in there.
Yeah, half the farm.
This is pay for performance only.
Yeah.
We're here.
In the pay for
Is that
performance program.
Of the BFP.
Yes.
Farm
farms.
breakdown.
Yes,
Because
because we pushed it. We got a lot of our farmers eligible and then enrolled.
Well, I hope they appreciate that too.
They do. They do.
Did that have anything to do with Brody running that for the first few years?
You know, a couple of the trial farms were like Brody's connections, like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
But then it was really just like,
The
hey,
push.
this sounds like money for our farms.
Mhm.
And our farms are a good fit for the program too. Like small diversified farms are not a great fit. Veggie farms are a terrible fit. Grazing farms were not eligible for the first 2 years. So we worked out well.
Yeah. There we are.
What's your favorite type of day, Maria?
I love a good tree planting day,
Oh,
as
really?
long as
This
it's
is not too
not
wet and
too
cold.
cold and rainy. Last year we had some fun with that. But I also just really love connecting with
Yeah.
farmers one-on-one.
Yeah, it's always my favorite part of the job
yeah.
too.
Same.
to come from a family that has that going on? No, so
Not
you
at
just came
all.
to this on.
Yeah, I was really interested in food systems and environmental science when I was in school. And after I graduated, I knew I wanted to be in Vermont. So found the position at the agency bag, and that led me to here.
Where'd you go to college?
I graduated from Fitchburg State University in Massachusetts.
Fitchburg, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Maria?
Happy to have you on board.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you. Happy to be here.
thank you.
Yeah. Love those pictures, everybody smiling.
We have a good time.
Yeah.
We do.
We have a good time.
We shouldn't have been touching that turtle though.
Also that.
Yeah.
Don't pick up
Turtle.
turtles.
Don't pick up turtles.
If for no other reason.
Not touch it, was it a
Was it a soft?
Wood turtle.
Is it one of those soft?
Turtle.
Generally, you're not supposed to pick up wildlife.
Yeah.
Especially while at work.
Whose sheep are those?
Flip it over.
That was on the FAP site visit when I was at the Open Safe ads, so I'm not sure.
Very cool.
Okay.
Love the kitty on the shoulder. Is
Yeah, me too.
that your kitty or is it a?
No, that was
just-
at the Schwinger family farm.
Oh, okay, up in
So
Highgate.
many kittens. It was adorable.
Yeah. Need to go up and get some meat.
Thank you, Maria.
All right,
Thank you.
yep, very good. Good job.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay. You're also welcome to not. Whatever you prefer.
I might not stay until 5.
That's fine. I think we're on,
Fiscal.
yes. So this is through May 1st, so we're about 2 weeks out from these numbers. Vicky, I have not officially closed out the Chase account,
I was gonna ask that.
but I believe I've swapped all of our recurring costs to our new credit cards, but I was gonna wait for one billing cycle to make sure.
Yeah,
And then, but it will be canceled, definitely next month.
okay.
I just didn't wanna accidentally have canceled the subscription that we needed. And couldn't fix it.
So at that point, that should reduce the liability. It won't be, you won't be signed in. We'll take the liability off you, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it should take it off my credit report, hopefully, or it shows it's closed
That's our goal.
account. Yeah.
Good.
No, in my opinion, nothing super interesting on the balance sheet.
And is this net income of -145 is as of
May 1st,
May 1st for the period of
the whole fiscal year.
the whole fiscal year?
Yep.
Okay,
But on the scary sheet, a couple pages later. I do expect to bill net about 65 on the fiscal year. We just have a lot of things that we're gonna bill for in June.
Do you have a gut feeling on where the tree sale ended up breaking even or?
I truly don't.
Lauren, don't we have a responsibility to balance our budget for the fiscal year, just like a municipality does? So. I guess my question is if we don't achieve the 64,000 net profit for some reason, because we're at a -145 as of right now. It means you gotta bring in enough for payroll for the next 2 months, and we got 2 more months of this fiscal year, right? Or
Yes.
Month and a half, 6 weeks
Yeah,
to bring in $200,000+.
yes.
Okay,
So I don't believe that we have a responsibility to have, to break even.
okay,
I don't think that's actually written anywhere. I think we've all agreed that that's the goal, but I don't think that's written anywhere. I know other districts have been in the red,
yeah, okay,
at the end of the fiscal year, especially because these grants
right.
are not
I just didn't
necessarily
know how the
fiscal year.
municipality status applied to us, because kind of like the state, the state can't be in the red, right?
Um,
But they can confuse you and make you think they're in the black.
So I'm not worried about it based on your,
yeah,
uh,
I'm not worried about it either.
potential. Okay, that's good. I
Um,
just didn't know what our responsibility was.
we should have. As of May 1st, we should have $372,000 still coming in this year.
Yeah, okay, good.
And then to pay for this net
The
staff costs
expenses,
and
right,
everything.
between the next 6 months, yeah,
Yeah.
any bills, yeah, okay.
There's a couple things, there's a couple LCVP grants we've been carrying some costs on because of timing of when we can submit things, but those will be done this
Okay.
fiscal year. There's a $44,000 one of that, and that's gonna be just fine.
Okay,
And then we haven't billed for any of our tree plantings yet. Because we just wrapped those up, but that's about $40,000 too. So we've already incurred those expenses for the
for staff
trees
and the
and the
tree.
staff. So those are already showing up, just not the income on those. It's really just a timing thing.
How quickly do the farmers pay?
The QUISP,
Oh, with the
the
paying, okay.
NRPC, and they're actually very timely.
Oh, good.
They've been wonderful to work with. Best funder by far. Yes. So I totally understand that it still says negative 145.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
understand.
usually we're not this far in the fiscal year, it's just making me a little antsy.
Yeah.
So,
We do have $111,000 grant or payment from Agency of Ag to that we can invoice for on June 30th.
okay,
So it's just one of those timing things.
And can I ask, is there anything but your confidence
No,
and knowledge of the system?
no,
No.
no, there's not.
Not that I don't trust that one darn bit. But I've always thought the system was strange. And
grant funded and.
yeah,
I mean, I guess it'd be akin to what, if you got, if as a dentist, if you got some negative press all of a sudden in the paper, somebody did something.
mhm.
Would that impact the potential for new patients to come in or patients to come back or whatever, and you really wouldn't be able to,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So
We're just kind of going on faith that things are gonna.
Yeah, and
We're
I'm
fully going on faith.
I'm always stuck on this, the amount of effort that we're putting into having a facility, building one or buying one, in a world where we don't know what our discretionary income is.
Mhm.
Because I don't know any
It's a
business,
wonderful question.
like, it's a big deal. You have your fixed expenses and your discretionary expenses, and you don't go buying a building if you can never say what you've got to play with. Because a building is gonna do one of many things, but it's gonna cost more than you think. It's going to zap you of any free molecules of energy you may have, because you can't.
That's up for discussion later on, Linda.
Okay,
It is, we
It
did have
is?
the
Okay.
last half hour.
All right.
Chat through that.
all right, I guess what I wanted to establish right here is, no, it's just the system.
It's a system.
Okay.
I feel very confident that I understand the system, but none of it's within my control.
Okay, yeah, okay. I
Um,
just
Well, and
wondered if I
don't
didn't
think
know
it's
enough.
at all different than in the way any other nonprofit manages itself that's not a member-based nonprofit.
Yeah.
right.
So, other nonprofits have membership dues and provide
Yeah.
services to their members. So it's a little bit easier to predict the budget a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, carry on. I just wondered if I was
Do
missing some.
specific fundraising that has a track
Big
record or
thing.
something.
Okay,
And then the bank slips and the chase slips and the ramp slips now. We'll be getting rid of the chase slips soon.
I just had a question. I'm wondering, only because I can see our expenses accrue and ramp, if because of our spending policy, like with how much each staff can spend without getting your permission, if you've noticed that we are spending more on small purchases.
Um,
I wondered that too, when I was looking at the policies around it, is there a negative incentive basically for the staff to go out and make a lot of small purchases as opposed to just batching it all in one, because it's a per purchase limit. But then we have a monthly limit as well, right?
yes.
Or are we just spending more than we would if we had to ask permission from Lauren? That was also my question.
It's interesting.
No. I was also curious as I was updating the procurement policy. I was like, what numbers do we need? And so I looked at April, and April's typically our most expensive month just with the tree sale and like people having to buy things for the tree sale. Nothing was purchased that I wouldn't normally authorize. I will say the diesel for the reefer cost us a pretty penny in April.
Well, it jumped over $1 in 6 months.
Yeah. So that's also why I'm not answering the question about the tree sale finances. What happened?
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
Yes.
My old truck travels $1 a mile for fuel.
Well, and I mean, overall travel for the staff is gonna go up.
Yeah.
I mean, the reimbursement stays the same if they're using their own vehicle, but if it's in the district truck, it's an increase.
That's, what is that, up to 70 cents a mile now?
72 and a half.
72.
It was 65 when I started 5 years ago. Fun facts.
Well, I remember it was like 20 something.
Right.
We're aging ourselves.
But I did look in April. Small dollar things. I think around the most is yours is the diesel. And then Mel needed to buy some gift cards for one of the grants. That is a requirement of the grant. And so that's what that amount was. And then I had to buy everything else. But no, I don't like I review every credit card transaction, and it's nothing that we wouldn't normally be buying. It just saves me about 3 hours a week of,
That's a lot of time.
yeah,
That's a lot
it's
of
been
time.
great.
Good.
I'm huge proponent of ramp at this point in time.
Good, so is Michelle.
Yeah, it's been very helpful.
Yeah. with the ACs.
Yeah,
To show you what inflation does, 50 years ago, you could run a trucking company on $1 a mile.
sure.
Now it's that much for fuel. But
Mhm.
big businesses do to pass it on, your prices go up.
And I think too, once we had discussed, once we're comfortable with ramp, we're currently in the free account, but there is a paid account that you do get, I believe it's 1.5% cash back, which could net us actually a decent chunk of change if we're using these cards.
And we
enough,
talked
so.
about holding off to see.
Yes, we were
whether or
gonna,
not We wanted to do that,
Yes.
because there's a cost
there's
associated.
a cost
It
associated.
goes from being free to no longer free.
Yep.
So,
And so we'll see kind of how the expenses go for some more months, and then we can circle back
Okay.
on that. Happy to answer any questions about the financials. Also happy to hear a motion to accept the financials.
one more question, the health insurance penalty, do we anticipate having to pay that? I mean, how's
Don't
that
at
gonna
this
work?
point. I will double check with
Well, we're back on with insurance, so so this would have been for last
it
year?
would have been for last year.
Yeah,
I can't imagine they're organized enough to track that down for everybody.
And worst case scenario, I think it's like
Mhm.
$4,000.
Okay. well, it's with them.
It's
Anyway, I better it's being recorded.
Another caller. So sorry. All right.
So do we have an acceptance of the financial?
I'll move to accept the financial reports.
Second,
I'll second
Second.
accepting the financial reports.
Vicky first, Molly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, motion carried.
All right. Strap in, folks. So,
So Lauren, I apologize. I just want everybody to know that Lauren sent me this first. And I made comments and I saved them somewhere in the cloud. And
That's where they are.
sent them to Lauren, and she never received them because I never heard, she's very good at replying, thank you, and I never got a thank you, and I thought, I wonder if the same thing happened to that as what happened when I tried to send so-and-so this other document, which was somebody for work that never got it. So for whatever reason, when I go to the file and hit file share, it makes it look like it's sharing, but it doesn't. As opposed to saving to my hard drive or saving to something and then picking it up as an attachment and sending it later, which is what I have to do now.
I feel your pain. It's happened to me multiple times.
And I don't, it's in there somewhere
Yep.
because it saved it somewhere. And I have searched every drive, everything. I've Googled how to get shit out of the cloud, stuff out of the cloud. And it's a mystery. So I took 2 hours on a rainy Sunday afternoon, right after I got home. And I made comments on all of this, and I have not sat back down to do this. So my recommendation is that we don't approve today, but that we discuss, and unless there's some like the board policy one, I had no trouble with, because that was mostly just
Copy and pasting stuff.
conflict of interest stuff and everything, so.
Okay,
But others may feel differently.
okay. Um. So. Procurement policy, again, this is the template from Vermont League of Cities and Towns. Almost verbatim. I also went through this with Karen, Don Bugby, who's a CPA and was the treasurer of the hospital for 10 years and also was the CFO at Green Mountain Power for 10 years. And she had like a couple of comments for me that I incorporated.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, she came and sat down with me for like 3 hours one afternoon.
Wow.
It was great.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, Karen was the connection. That was excellent. A lot of it's just kind of standard stuff. I think what we had talked the most about last time was the kind of the credit cards for staff. At this point, I am proposing that all staff besides me can make a purchase up to $200 without prior approval from me, with a monthly maximum of $2,000 a month.
And what is it now?
It's not covered in our existing procurement
Okay.
policy. I think effectively like nothing is allowed at this
Okay.
point.
Okay.
And then I have, for me, I'm a minor purchaser. And so for non-contracted purchases with a value between $200 and $10,000 without me getting your approval from the board, with a monthly maximum of $30,000, just because in April I spent $23,000. You're all welcome to say those are too high, too low.
I think that one thing that is, if we could scroll up, is it all within the annual budget plan? If the procurements are in the annual budget plan, then I think I'm comfortable with these numbers.
So I can confidently say the annual budget you all approve is not going to have this.
I don't mean each individual purchase. I mean that you have, X amount of expenses set aside for the seedling sale. That's what that was mostly for. And so that, so that if you have to go above that budget item, then a certain percentage above, you'd have to come back. I think VACDs is only like $5,000 right now.
Okay.
Like either way of, it's within $5,000 of the projected budget expense. Something like that.
I'd like to make sure we're using numbers that we could live with, not for eternity, but no matter who was in charge of this organization. Because we will all rotate in and out of being on this board, and staff rotates in and out, and we just have to acknowledge that. And you don't want to have a whole bunch of policies like this that you have to go back to if we got a new executive director or whatever. So I think we ought to make sure we're approving something we think that the world of Lauren and her judgment and all that, but that might not always be the case. And what if we forget about this policy and then we've got somebody that's new and untested, and I don't know. I always think that these kind of numbers, you'd have to be okay for anyone.
So I think, like kind of as Linda said, like I build an annual budget on faith. And so I think most of our budget is contracted. Is like procurement base contracted, I think. Non-contracted expenses, again, are mostly tree plantings that we spend within the grant. The tree sale is really the only thing that's kind of an open question mark every year, and then office expenses of ink. If the printer goes down, if we need a new desk.
But you can project those on an annual basis. And give yourself some wiggle room. I would say I wouldn't worry about anything. I'm not opposed to you spending what's required or in an improved grant agreement to get whatever you need.
Yep.
It's those outside, hasn't been in the budget plan, wasn't projected. You know, is there a process for you to come back to the board and say, hey, I just need you to know that we need to spend $20,000 on whatever, you know?
Yeah,
Imagine if we owned a building, this would be a much different situation, right?
right.
So.
So so my brain can understand what I'm hearing, I think is what you're saying. So this is set up to operate with things that are known expenses in a sense, but you're saying when there's an unknown to then have
Or
a mechanism to come
completely
back.
outside of the expected annual
Annual,
expense for
okay.
office supplies or whatever.
Okay, I get it.
Sure.
So it's not every
Okay.
purchase, it's just,
Yeah.
hey, we really under budgeted
Yeah.
this, or there's some kind of an emergency situation that
Okay,
comes in, there needs to be something that triggers to come back to the board.
Yeah.
And say, this is gonna affect our budget plan,
gotcha.
outcome, everything.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with Linda that, you know, we need to
Yeah.
have something in place that covers us no matter who's the district
Mhm.
manager.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm just sharing my opinion. The rest of you guys just, you need to speak up. So what are your comfort level? Because ultimately, those of us sitting as full board members are fiscally responsible for the success of this organization.
Is there any language that we could put on those numbers so we could keep your numbers? It could be even like so plainly as long as Lauren's the executive director. I mean, you know, just something that would be in this document so that 8 years from now,
How about just a caveat that states specifically, this policy will be reviewed within a set period
Exactly.
of time of a new director
There
being
you go.
appointed.
That would be-
yes,
6 months, 3 months,
Yeah.
what's real?
just some
2
simple
months.
language that doesn't give it carte blanche and we forget about it.
So within 2 months of the appointment of a new director, this policy must be reviewed and approved by the current board.
Perfect.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing I would ask of Lauren is, what did you spend the 23,000 on this month? Was it all
Tree sale?
pre-sale stuff?
It was not, sorry.
Okay.
Within 3 months of the
Go ahead, let her finish your track.
hiring of a new district manager, this procurement
This policy
policy will, must.
must be
So,
reviewed and
I'm trying to-
approved by the current.
Still trying to understand what you're saying fully, not that it matters because I don't have a vote, but.
It doesn't matter
You-
because you have an opinion.
But you're saying, you're basically saying like, well, these non-contracted purchases, maybe we should break these into two separate categories. Like one being ones that are planned for within the annual budget and then these emergent responsibilities that might.
That's a good way to put it and just say, you
Love
know, that, you know, that you have flexibility to spend, like on Dragonheart, I have to stay within 5% of my budget plan for all my expenses. And I'm supposed to go back to the board if I anticipate being, and I don't do it per item, I do it in total. Because it's one big expense for them, right, to put on this Dragon Boat Festival. So it forces you to plan ahead. It forces you to have some truth in your annual budget plan and to know what that needs to be. And then, you know, if you need to make a purchase outside of what your normal spending is, you have to look back at where is it gonna come from?
Right.
And, you know, in NRCS, it was, you know, well, what program do we have money available in to spend it in? So, and is that appropriate to use CSP for something that doesn't benefit CSP? No, it would not be. Fortunately for the district, it's not that complicated. So, So I guess to put some wording in there somewhere, Lauren, about, within a certain percentage of annual budget plan. Or, and then, any unexpected expenses outside of the annual budget plan. Exceeding X amount of dollars or exceeding X percent or something should be taken to the board for review and approval. And if it's an emergency, maybe we put some language in there outside of emergencies or something like. Which I can't ever imagine we'd be in that situation, but.
But I could see that happening if the district owned a. But of
owned
course, this
building,
could be
yeah.
evaluated.
Or if we owned a vehicle that we were responsible for, either one, capital expenditures, that something needs to be done right away.
But it's just functionally, so I give you guys an annual budget in June.
Mm-hmm,
In January, we have 10 new grants.
mm-hmm.
The expenses for those grants also fall under this.
I wouldn't put grant expenses underneath that.
Okay, so this is just for,
Yeah, if it's approved in a grant agreement,
okay,
if it's a budget expense in a grant agreement, I don't think it needs to come back to us.
okay,
As long as it's in line with the budget agreement, There's
Okay.
the big year-long annual budget plan, and then there's your individual grant budget plans, so,
okay. So that is helpful.
yeah.
So this is really for non-grant supported expenses. Office, building, truck. I'm gonna make this sound better.
Yeah, just general indirect expenses.
Yep.
Resale newsletter.
Tree cell,
I think like all government documents should have a little section that says, this is really about.
Really?
I can't.
narrow the, how long is the appendix for 11 pages or something like that. Sarah, this is really about 3 or 4 phrases. Don't sell drugs.
Yeah.
Don't harass
Trying to
anybody.
say it.
The plain language.
Don't lie.
As we have to take
And maybe also, this is sponsored by.
Okay, so I'll update that language on this background. I would really love to accept this at the June meeting if possible.
Was there one other section in here about the amount that we
Yes.
were?
So I just do want to draw attention to, I did add a line that says you're supposed to have 3 quotes for anything over $10,000. Vermont, I've twice gotten 3 quotes on a project. There's just not that many people doing work that we can contract. So I just added some language to document the efforts that were made and demonstrate that 3 quotes were requested but not received.
I think we talked about that at the last meeting, that's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
And then this is really fully up to you guys. I did ask other districts and VACD what they do between who gets to make decisions on procurement between the district manager and the board. No one does the same thing. There's no official guidance. So VACD says that any purchase between 10,000 and 250,000 can be made at the discretion of the executive director, so Michelle. And if they want, they can convene a committee of experts if it's over 25. Essex and Rutland NRCDs have no threshold for which their board is consulted. When you
They also
see
don't buy that. The districts. Anyway, go ahead.
Winooski and Wyndham have a $50,000 threshold at which the district manager makes a recommendation that the board then formally approves.
That's quite a spread, 10 to 250.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you that.
Well, I was bringing it up, that's quite a spread. I can see 10, 25.
Trust there.
Well, I think my comment, if I'm recalling why I was concerned about this, was because of Lauren's protection. Lauren's out on a limb. If she's all by herself, the only one looking at this and making a decision. And if you don't have professional liability insurance, Lauren, I would definitely recommend it.
So at the end of the day, you guys are still financially responsible for.
I know, but you could be personally responsible if this policy says you have sole discretion to make these decisions.
Okay,
So Professional liability is for these types of situations as well as HR related issues,
Okay,
where they can sue you personally.
good to know.
It's about $300 a year. You work for the government, government reimbursed, government reimburses for half the cost. I would recommend the district pay the full cost for you.
Okay,
It's not very much money. for the
So why don't
district.
we find out what the cost is and then vote on it at the next meeting?
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
So if you could find out
Did you have
what.
professional liability insurance when you
No.
got the card? Oh, God, no, I did. I definitely did.
No. They're both.
And it carried on for 3 years after I retired too, automatically with no payment. It was just part of their.
Well.
Yeah.
You know,
We were in UCMJ, so it's a whole different.
Yeah.
We weren't.
So I guess,
We were under honesty and credibility.
So I mean, I just think that the reason why you bring it to more eyes is to make sure you're thinking correctly. I'm totally in favor of you making a recommendation like they're doing in Wyndham.
okay,
And maybe 50,000 is the right number, maybe what is 10,000 now, right?
at this point, I can do anything to 10,000 and anything after that is you guys.
Yeah, so I definitely think maybe we can raise that number.
Okay.
Because I do think 10,000 is too low. But I think 250 is too high.
Yep.
My gut reaction is this is too high.
Can I,
I just wanted to give you all the information I had. Sorry, go ahead, Karen.
can I ask how many contracts we really do, under 10 or over 10? Are we talking about a huge number?
Under 10 contracts,
Yeah.
5 a year. Some of the cultural resources firms, those are pretty cheap. They're like $2,000 contracts for each phase, so it's a different thing every time. I'd say engineering costs are between 730 and 80 on most projects generally. Anything with a like earthwork contractor is going to be at least. Besides, we have a really tiny project, but everything else is going to be.
I think I asked,
100,000.
I think I asked the wrong question.
Okay.
How many total contracts are you signing a year? I mean, is it 10? Is it 40? Is it 20? Just to
Let's say it's 40
okay.
with subcontractors.
And the majority of them are over 10 or under 10?
Majority are over 10.
Okay, so we're seeing most of them anyway. Am I understanding that?
Yes. We're currently seeing most of them, truly, except for like cultural, like the archaeologists that we send out, for the most part.
All right, so we're talking about a small amount of money under 10,000.
Yes.
Okay.
So I recommend that we raise it and maybe 50. I would propose 50 and then talk about and find out about professional liability insurance, just so we know Lauren's covered.
So I'll put that as on the table for discussion next time.
Yeah.
50 is the proposal,
Yes.
Liability.
liability insurance.
Yeah.
Good idea.
For Lauren. Okay. I'll come back with some more information. Anything over 250 needs to like be a formal bid process, with multiple decision makers. And I usually, that's almost always been, like, I sit down with our engineer to go through it and review the bids, and then I bring it to you guys with their recommendation, and we all make a decision from there. And I don't propose. Yes, go ahead.
One more question. And I kind of asked it once before, but I asked about auditing. Does the state or the federal government do any kind of audits on our contracts to make sure that they've all been closed and that they were performed as stated?
No.
So again, she's right about that liability, because any thing could go wrong and somebody could say that things were misrepresented. I see the issue there. I still need to find
Our insurance through Vermont League of Cities and Towns will cover us as long as everything's being done according to policy and procedure. But it's the interpretation And you know, the other thing I think I put in my comments was we should probably pay to get Lauren some contract management training because you've never had official training, right?
No.
And, you know, I think that if we're inching towards wanting to go higher than 50 and have even fewer things come to the board, you know, it'd be really good to go to some kind of formal training. So
Are you
that
talking
could-
like an appropriations law training?
Well, no, it's contract management specifically, you know, it's like, you know, when you think about contract officers, like Pat Pickett was a contracting officer, she had a $500,000 warrant where she could negotiate contracts for $500,000 or less. Anything over that had to go to through a different process.
Right.
So the government has all these stipulations that, you know, training and certificates and everything else, warrants is what they call them. That you had to get to be able to manage the negotiations, the opening the sealed bids, doing all that kind of stuff. So, I would just recommend that we get you some training, and it should be something that VACD hosts, organizes and hosts. So,
That'd be great.
yes.
Sorry, my face is.
And I will still try to find you a lawyer. I have talked to a number of them already. It'd be nice to have a lawyer on the board. I have one
Yes.
more, I have one more person to try.
Okay, thank you for trying, Karen. And then I think regardless of what threshold we do, I am getting some frustration from our engineers about lack of clarity around how we're evaluating proposals. And so I think we need to come up with standards for how we're going to evaluate proposals and what we value. And so I put forth, it's still vague, but scope of work.
What was the complaint? Is there somebody that submitted a bid that felt it was unfair of whom was picked or what?
They didn't understand the criteria.
That's their issue.
Well, it's my issue. At the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the one having to communicate when they have the questions. So I think this is a good start. I really liked that, Lauren.
Ooh, so sorry, that was crazy. So scope of work and then the associated proposed scope of work cost. Again, like if they're proposing different scopes of work, it should cost something different. Previous performance with FCNRCD, previous project type experience in Vermont specifically. The timeline. If they happen to know the area particularly well, like when we work in Lake Carmine, it is helpful to work with someone who knows how that works.
Do you take into consideration like their insurance and how much they're covered for?
There's requirements for the floor of the insurance.
Okay.
For bonding.
And bond, yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone has to
Has
meet
to.
at least that.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can't work with them with this funds that we have typically. And then I also included if they have previous experience with the funding source requirements. I'm thinking particularly for the Lake Champlain Basin program, they have a quality assurance process that will make you rip your hair out if you've never done it before. And it's helpful if an engineer's done that before.
QA/QC, is that what you're trying to?
Yeah. So this is my proposal of what I think we could share with in every request for proposals of here's how we're going to evaluate them. We don't necessarily need to tell them like, we're going to give 10 points to this, 10 points to that, but we can say like, this is what we care about. Make sure you hit on these things. So we are evaluating apples to apples.
Do you think that's enough to address the concerns you've been fielding?
I do. And just being real clear.
I'd keep it simple then.
Yeah, have enough to make it clear, but not so much that you're in a box
Right.
that you can't get out of.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that sounds great. And then I think everything else was. Oh, this was just making sure that we get all the paperwork we need every year. Before we sign any contract. So I'll look into the couple things we talked about and we'll circle back to this next
Okay.
time.
Is it holding you up from doing anything you need to do by not having this in place?
It's not.
Okay.
I think it will streamline things later. At this
Okay.
point, like with the credit cards, we're kind of working in no man's land.
Okay.
I will say that, but no one's abusing
Okay.
it at all. And I'm still reviewing every purchase.
Okay.
As you were talking, I remembered two things.
Okay.
I did just want to let everybody know there is a new district manager over in Lemoyle.
Oh, yeah.
Emily Porter Goff. She has been working with the district as their educational outreach coordinator person. I was informed last week that she accepted the district manager role. Districts that utilize government computers, we're having a hard time justifying, in a sense, maintaining some, especially when people do not log on to their computers. We get notifications. So if districts no longer want those computers, they need to let us know because we are paying for them. So
Heard. Heard.
other people can see the notifications in the system, not just me. So
Heard. Understood.
You get kicked off if you don't do the training on time too.
yeah, yeah.
They stopped sending me the emails about the trainings, and they just always send the emails.
Was going through a revamping.
So that one wasn't my fault. I will say some of the other stuff.
I believe the notifications through AgLearn have begun again.
Okay.
But that was because of the impact and the revamping of everything.
How many do you guys have?
We have Kate, Maria, Dorothy, Lauren. Yes, we have 4. It was Morgan's, but we just gave it back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Lauren, I gotta run.
Okay.
I might have a broken arm on a good.
Molly.
I'm so sorry.
That's an emergency.
Baseball accident yesterday, so it's been 24 hours.
Okay.
Oh,
Thanks for coming.
Mother's Day present, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm on Friday to do the last bit of planning.
This is just a couple updates to the policies and procedures for our financials. I think at the last meeting, we talked about me keeping a 6-month rolling budget in addition to an annual budget. I'm happy to do that. I think that's effectively like what I've been doing anyway, but I kind of end at once we get close to the fiscal year, I kind of stop, but I'm happy to just,
Yeah.
honestly, it would help me if I did that. So I'm happy to do that. This is all gonna get updated based on the next thing, or the previous thing. And then this is a significant change, so we can discuss this. Based on the conversation I had with Dawn. She was
Dawn is.
Dawn Bugby, the
Oh, okay.
CPA. She thought it made sense for the board to approve everything that has to do with me as an employee and the annual budget, but then that every other hiring decision and staffing decision is made by me without your additional approval.
Mhm.
And so that is a change from what we have been doing. I don't know if you guys want to discuss that.
Well, I think my comment was as long as it doesn't go outside of the annual budget.
Yep.
That's what I put, and that's the way most nonprofits work, that the executive director makes the hiring decisions. I think my other comment was, gosh, I just can't believe I can't get those documents, but my other comment was that there was something about consistent pay raises amongst all staff.
That is coming in the next document.
Okay, and yeah, okay, so we'll get to that.
Yep.
But that, that you can't hire if it's gonna exceed the amount that we have set aside for staff expenses in the annual budget plan.
Yes, maybe we should say because again, it's kind of like, when is the annual budget approved? Because I might get 10 grants and need to hire someone mid-year, and so it's kind of like, how do we navigate that?
Yeah.
Maybe that's with like the 6-month rolling budget, like. I don't know, 'cause that's.
Well, if you've got grants that have come in before the end of the fiscal year and it justifies hiring more staff, at that point, you could just come back to the board and just say, we have X amount of money, or we do a budget plan adjustment. That's also possible, right?
Yep. The annual budget.
Because, NRCS always got $500,000 with it in September and told to spend it by the end of the month, all of a sudden.
Use it or lose it.
FSA did the same thing.
Oh, God, I hated it.
That was one of my biggest jobs when I first started.
Just like give it back.
Um,
I have to go. So thank you so much. Good luck.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Karen. Thanks for all your
Thank
help
you.
between meetings
Thank
too.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
And then I updated just some language because now we're using ramp too.
Yep.
So I updated that, and then also that copies of checks deposited will be retained in digital form. Dawn was saying that's super important if the person who's receiving the checks is also the person depositing the checks, which is what we do. And I think building in a second layer there does not make sense, so I'll just save pictures of checks.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that when we get to the structural integrity discussion, that if they could look for any risks in our system like that.
Yes.
I think it'd be worth it paying them to do that. But maybe she already did. Maybe Dawn already did.
Another set of eyes been here. And then I included the specific audit requirement.
Yep.
So we can't approve this yet, but those are
Is
the
the
only
pay
changes
in there?
The pay is in a compensation philosophy.
Okay, yes.
I just took a stab at this. I'm happy to be really wrong.
I was
Googled
curious
some
as to
things.
what drove you to want to do this,
It's been on our to-do list as a board for about 3 years.
to have a compensation policy.
Yes.
Okay. So did
Um,
anybody look at this philosophy?
I have not.
um,
Maybe you can summarize it for them, Lauren.
in summary, it says that we aim to pay our employees at or slightly above the market median and to give competitive compensation packages that compete with the state and federal agencies performing similar work, which I think we've all kind of named in as many words in previous places. We understand that many of these positions are entry level aside from district manager and program manager positions, and that the compensation packages again should align with them, and that we will refer to the Common Good Employer Survey. Gets released each year. That's what we've been referring to. It's like the nonprofits for Vermont. All decisions around compensation are made within the context of the annual budget. And then I list all the different benefits that we provide. And then this is really like a question I have for you all about paying for good work and how we want to frame that.
There was another budget. Can you read all the perks that you were saying you were gonna pay for?
So we do hourly wage, the benefit stipend, the tuition reimbursement, paid time off, 401k matching contributions, health, life, and long-term and short-term disability insurance.
And we're already paying that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I
And
knew the health was, I didn't know we were paying for life and disability insurance.
yeah, we've been doing that for probably almost the whole time I've been here.
Okay.
It's like $300 a year for each person.
Yeah.
So you don't have an awards system?
No, there is no awards system whatsoever.
Because wouldn't an award be based off of performance?
It could be
Could be.
for something else too.
You know, instead of, in a sense, readjusting their salary all the time? Because I mean,
That's been my point a lot of times, Sarah, is that we don't have to increase salary, we can just give a performance.
yeah, because usually,
award.
you know, you think. of
Salary
like
is
a s-
forever.
Right, and a certain project
Yeah.
that might warrant sort of a bonus or an award.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I do understand reevaluating what that person might be doing workload wise and the level of difficulty and increasing pay that way.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm hearing more of like an award in this. Is that your intent or?
I think my intent is we've named that we tried to do the COLA increase in January, and we've always done also increases
Performance increases in fiscal year.
and the fiscal year change.
Mm.
And we've always been consistent with the percentage across those folks, again, except for I've been pulled out because I'm salaried now and the rules are different for me
Yeah.
now. We've always done it as a consistent percentage. I know VACD has changed to like 2 percentage groups based on how long you've been there. So I think if you've been there for 3 years, your percentage actually decreases of your increase. Um, so
It's-
I don't know.
What I'm seeing there, it's interesting that you're saying everybody, if you're gonna give one person a raise, you give everybody a raise consistent across all staff.
That's
Well,
what I don't
that's
agree
cool.
with.
So I don't, yeah,
That
COLA.
that is what we've done for the past 5 years.
Wait, what does?
I
COLA
don't,
stand
I
for?
don't, I'm not sure I got with it, Lauren, because I remember my very first year here, us saying 2.1 and then 2, and then you were trying to get staff salary up to a
Of
certain
course.
point, and it varied in
Yes.
percentage for different people. So, but, I will say that we should have it tied to performance, so that performance at a standard rate, that they're fully meeting your expectations gets X. Maybe nothing, it's just the COLA. Somebody performing above expectations gets Y, and somebody that's just so damn good, they just have a halo around them at all times, and you get nothing but, compliments on everybody. Then that's a different percentage, and if those percentages of performance-based salary increases should be the same.
So you're talking like a meeting superior outstanding.
Yeah, exactly.
or meet standards,
Yeah, exceeds standards
Exceeds,
or
you know.
exceeds most standards or exceeds all standards.
Walks on
except for them.
water, gives policy to God.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Which was,
Use that language.
less than 5% of federal employees got that
So-
every year.
With that type of system, so are you doing, you have performance plans and you rate and you meet with them?
So
Just getting there.
Getting there?
what we worked on as a whole staff this past year was what are our standards? And we came up with this document of what is the content information we
Yep.
need to have,
ASA.
what is the project management with some percentages on certain things.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember we talked about this at the board meeting too.
yep. Teamwork, external relationships, general communications, and then we also have a senior level tier and a program manager level tier, so those bump up a little bit and there's a little bit more different things. I will say, 80% of the time, that's a really hard thing to quantitatively calculate. I'm not on every email thread, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's supposed to be measurable, timely, specific,
But-
relevant.
But it
Achievable.
is, if you're
Marked.
right on it and you document well. Our thing is, let's just pick something simple. Somebody comes in late 80% of the time. You call them in, you say, Joanne, you're late 80% of the time. If I let you be late, I gotta let everybody be late. What would this place look like? You can't be late anymore. 3 weeks late, she's good for a week, and then the second week starts coming in late and back in 3 weeks. Okay, so now you meet again quantitatively, and you give it something in writing along with the talk.
So we have a full documented performance improvement plan process.
Okay, so if you have a full documented, then you've got something that you can check the box on. I tried to do this with you. I tried to get this happening. And then it's easy to say, I can't give you any more than the COLA because here's this is quantitative. This isn't just everybody remembering back at the conversations we had. We've had 4 conversations and you're still coming in late. So I think it's it's not just off the top of your head if you're keeping.
Yeah, I mean, you can't quantify every email was done within 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever your metric is, but it just, if you repeatedly get, well, I haven't heard back from her. I haven't heard back from her. I haven't heard back from her. Nobody's responded.
So I guess
Then
to that
it's a
end,
tone,
I feel like it'd be totally doable to do like not meeting expectations and meeting expectations. I think where it becomes cloudy is when we're trying to get to exceeds and incredible.
Yep.
And I also don't know that that's something we necessarily want to incentivize. We already have a really hard time across our whole staff with work-life balance.
Oh.
And so I think,
you don't want to
Okay.
motivate somebody to be
Good.
God, walk on water,
yeah,
because they already all are.
yeah,
If you're lucky like that.
we're pretty lucky like that.
All right. Good
Um,
problem to have.
Good problem to have. And so like,
Also, it sets expectation.
So maybe you just have you have 2 levels. Meeting expectations does not mean,
Exceed.
and then just an exceeds, but not 2 levels of exceed.
That's right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
so
Not-
3 levels.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
does not meet, it to me is not really a level, but that's, yeah. That's a time to let go, you know?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So you got below, center mass and above.
And above, yeah.
I also wonder to your point of like, you're not on every thread, you don't know what's going on. This doesn't apply to me since you're my only supervisor, but for other folks who have a manager and then would it make sense for their review to be a mix of their team manager and their personnel manager?
My approach to our team dynamic has to keep it pretty flat. And so like Kate and Mal are technically program managers, but they are like workload managers. They're not
Direct
they're not direct supervisors. They're like helping to make sure projects are running smoothly and answering questions, but they are not a personnel manager. So I think I might get a quick feedback of like, hey, are they meeting these expectations generally? Is there anything I don't know about? But I don't think that they should be involved in personnel and like raise decisions. I think that would just make this whole team.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
It makes
messy.
sense in knowing that their positions are just more of workload
Yeah,
facilitators and managers,
Yeah.
not the performance
right.
personnel end of it.
And I think like eventually if we had a different, like with turnover, that might become more relevant, but the way that the structure kind of built.
At some point, though, I will say if we continue to grow, Lauren, you're already at the max of what's considered. It's like
Yes.
4 to 7 people supervising is beyond that, is you're not doing everybody
Really?
Yep.
direct. Yeah, now granted, the regional conservationists had like 25 states sometimes, you know, when Leonard Jordan covered the whole East Coast. So the government's not very good at following this guidance, but
Yeah, considering technically I supervise 14.
oh God, Sarah, that's
One
crazy.
other question I have maybe as like voice of staff on this many older members here too. It's interesting to hear, I think Vicky mentioned that VAC does it in a way where if you've been there for a certain amount of years, you maybe get less of a bonus.
Yeah.
I heard you mention.
Yeah.
That, I've been kind of wondering if we have a system like that, because having some insights into how much staff get paid, there is like clearly, you know, a level like there's junior staff and then there's managers and if we all, you know, got a 5% raise every year, then those higher paying people, their salaries would just inflate and then there would be less room in the budget for
Yep.
lower people to make their way
That's
there.
the
So I'm
reason-
wondering.
That's the reason why we made that decision, and I wanted to do that in the federal government. We wanted to give, when I first started, it was like do it and ask for forgiveness later. Well, then when FPAC came around, we weren't allowed to do that anymore. But we gave the same superior performance award to somebody making $50,000 as we did to somebody making $100,000. And it was just a flat set rate so that everybody got the same amount. And they said, nope, it's gotta be a percentage of salary. And we could not ever get HR to agree to anything else. And you're exactly right.
Yep.
So it's unfair to the people down below. Makes it that much harder for them ever to make a decent wage, no matter how hard they work. So I don't know. I mean, are we all in agreement that we have a does not meets and exceeds, or Lauren doesn't want to have an exceeds at all?
I don't want to have an exceeds at all. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think we should go with your intuition.
And, you know,
So you're saying meet standard is good enough?
Yeah. And I think maybe we have a 0 to 3 years.
Yeah.
They all get the same percentage and over 3 years, they all get the same percentage.
Or it's a flat rate. But I don't know.
Cause it sounds like the people that you're pulling, I mean, I guess you can't say that this is always gonna be the case. But what I'm hearing from you is that like meets expectations for this organization is at a different level than say,
federal government.
yeah, and like, it's just at a different level. And so it's not fair to, you know, almost like pit that. I don't like add that competitive aspect of it when like the work is already exceeding expectations in any other arena.
This is kind of an Orwellian thing, right? You know, trying to
But I think you also have to take into consideration, a few years ago, we were more flush. We're getting tight and they're skeptical, you know, so that you gotta balance in too.
Right, and so I strongly do not propose setting an amount in here. I think it's just how, like, once we know what the budget is, how do we make
Apply
a
it.
decision?
Yeah,
You know,
Based on-
raises come from profit. That's the bottom line. Everybody on your organization has to understand that. And if they contribute in whatever niche they're in to the profitability of the organization, then
well, the profitability has to be in the organization. If you're flatlining or having trouble, how can you keep throwing increases out there?
exactly, well,
Well,
yeah, but
Well, that's what, isn't that what
That-
Lauren's saying, is that,
So like, if there's not budget for a raise, no one's getting a raise.
Okay,
But what I'm saying, when there is,
Yeah.
how do we distribute it
Okay.
is
Yeah.
my question. And I would like to do it in a really equitable way.
I think Linda's right. If you're not comfortable with it, Lauren, I don't think we should
Yeah.
override where your comfort level is. I do think you should have the flexibility to give people what we called spot awards. An
Yeah.
attaboy, attagirl, thank you very much. You really like Arena and was it
yeah,
Dorothy who did the seedling sale, or who helped her with the seedling
Yeah,
sale? Arena and
Dorothy.
Dorothy just did the leadership for the seedling sale. And that was a new thing on their plate. That maybe you give them, I'm just throwing this out, each of them get like a $300 thank you award kind of thing.
and I think
For
the
that
more
kind of stuff.
flexible you keep that sort of thing, the less it becomes the expectation. 25 years ago, we once did a we once did a bonus system.
Mhm.
Because that's what all the dental gurus were saying you do. And of course, the first 2 months you made it, and everybody made that bonus part of their normal
Normal salary.
income and their normal spending habits, 3 months. And then the fourth month, we didn't meet the number. And they were so pissed at us. Chuck and I got cold shoulders for the whole next month. Cause they had made there was an expectation. So my opinion on anything like this is to keep it flexible enough for leadership to be able to, in her mind, roll with the budget, or in her mind, consider the situation or whatever.
I appreciate that you're trying to be fair to all of your employees.
Yeah,
I do wanna ensure that you have the ability to recognize exceptional employees. And on the other side of the coin, you're gonna have a mouth breather once in a while that needs a swift kick in the hoo-haws. And that may be fiscal or
put
otherwise.
that in there.
and along those lines, I
Just say.
Yeah.
I agree with trying to keep, but when you say all of the staff, and I get right now you have great staff, but what happens in a year where you might have a very poor performer? Is that
This is-
one person gonna weigh
There.
everybody
What I'm
down
saying.
because you're saying
Yes.
all?
But I think that comes in if they're not meeting expectations.
Well, they'll be below center mass, whatever
You
you
know,
wanna put it.
Part of this is Lauren learning how to be a supervisor and a leader and keep a
Right.
team, and I think we've got to give her
Mhm.
some room.
Well, I'm just planting some seeds.
I
for her to
know,
Think
I
about. a
know,
little
we can
bit.
all be devil's advocate. There's a reason why the government has such a structured system. There's good and bad to that.
Yeah,
So I think that, it has to work for hundreds of thousands of people, right?
This is,
Up to within each supervisor saying, and we were, even with our structured system, there were favorites and not favorites. Sarah, there were people that,
oh, trust me, I got told by a supervisor, who in the heck gets Superior 2 years in a row? I can't give you that.
so.
this will work on small levels of personnel
Yeah.
that you have hand selected and been
Yeah.
able to really
Yeah.
ensure that you have the team members that you know will be all things equal, a really good fit. And so far, you've pretty much been able to do that. If the organization grows significantly, or even a handful, 3, 4, 5 more people, it's gonna get, you really are gonna
Unwieldy.
have to do something different than this. It's an
Yeah.
interesting thing. But you need to maintain the ability to recognize exceptional performance, whether it's exceptionally good or exceptionally bad. You do.
What about this gives you stress? Like, I got stress coming from you.
Yeah.
I feel incredibly protective of our team culture,
Okay, that's good.
and I don't want to add a layer of,
Well, so-and-so got this.
Competitive.
yeah.
Mm, mm,
I that's honestly why I want a compensation philosophy,
Oh.
so that people like, here's what we're doing.
Mhm.
Here's what I can expect. Here's what I can
Okay.
know. If I'm here for 3 years, I'll be in the same boat with everybody, and that's kind of an incentive to stay or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
Is there a probationary period that would fall into this? Like if you just hired someone, do they get the same raise as everyone that's been on for, you said you saying 3 years
yeah.
triggered it in my mind that is there an incentive, a reward for longevity and loyalty?
Currently, the only thing that changes at 3 years is you get more paid time off.
Okay.
so maybe
Um,
that needs to be in here. Maybe there needs to be some kind of,
it is in our employee handbook now.
okay, all right.
Okay.
So that's written there. I'm happy to include it in here too.
Is where we're going, you and I think are going at different angles at the same thing. I feel like out in society, I'm experiencing mediocrity from workers all the time. Like everybody's just going through the motions. There's almost not a day where, and I'm like an optimistic, really happy person.
This is true.
I just go away going, my God, is that the way they answer the phone? You know, or whatever it is. I've experienced so much mediocrity and people going through the motions that I can't believe what you're saying. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then I say to myself, God bless, this is perfect if you've got this now, but
Yeah.
it can't last forever. Maybe you have the golden touch, but I just want to make sure that there's a system here that works for you when you do confront a situation where you didn't get what you thought.
And I feel confident, like we vetted this metric document, like we workshopped it a lot.
Okay.
And like, yes, there's some gray areas in here, but we did also come up with this whole performance improvement plan process, and that's fully documented in the employee handbook. So I feel confident that even if we had a total stinker, we, if we're saying you're meeting or not, if you're not, you get X or nothing. If you are, you get this. But also if you've been here this long, this thing changes. And like Maria and Miranda, please feel free to chime in here because I obviously have an opinion, but I don't know if you guys do.
I like that. I feel like knowing what to expect makes me feel more secure as an employee. And also know how to act. Like if I feel motivated to reach some sort of metric, performance metric, like that's probably the better thing for the organization than me just saying, I don't know what I have to do to, gain Lauren's favor or something.
Right.
But Linda, I've never seen anybody on Lauren's team, and admittedly, I'm not here on a day-to-day basis, who has that firm commitment to mediocrity that you're talking about.
You know what? I'm talking about that.
I do know, but I've seen people who are engaged and thinking ahead
Yay.
and doing exactly what you look for in a functional team.
Then we ought
That's
to
what I
give,
see in all these different areas.
then my opinion is
Really
give her the
neat.
tools, whatever she says, to maintain that culture.
Yeah, so the only thing I
Yes.
wanna say is,
That
because
you're-
I do this when I do things, I think in terms of me, right, how I think. Sometimes you have to step back and say, if I'm not here, is this transferable? Is this doable for somebody else to pick up? Does this make sense to somebody else reading it?
And I think if
I'm
we
not
go
saying you
ahead and-
haven't,
Right.
but.
I think I'd be curious to learn more about how you guys do bonuses, but I like truly my gut reaction is that's gonna blow up the vibes.
Yeah.
Well, believe me, in a small state like Vermont, it blew up the vibes in NRCS too. We used to have
Yeah.
these big award banquets or whatever, all employee meetings or whatever, and give out awards at the end of the year. And it just was, I got to the point where I didn't feel like it was anybody's business who got what award.
Well, let me tell you what Vicky said once,
Uh-oh.
that the Employee of the Year award was a popularity contest. And I said,
Ask at end of the year.
because I don't this was that year.
So did I.
Right, well, even that we've
And
typically
then we had
done,
to, when we went to
like
FCAS.
longevity based, it's never even been like performance based. I don't,
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
should go just.
Yeah, not much has changed.
I think this is a good discussion, but I
Yeah.
think we're kind of,
Yeah,
I think we agree that we need to give you the flexibility and we have full confidence in you know, as you're developing as a leader, that you're really putting a lot of thought into this.
And this can be brought back and rediscussed and readjusted too, so.
It can, yeah, I
I'm
guess.
not sure that there's much that we need to, I mean, we almost could vote on this one, unless if you wanna just do it all at once, Lauren, to.
I'm happy to do it all at once. I'm also happy to, I kind of like the idea of 0 to 3 years is 1% to be determined based on budget. And 3+ years is 1% to be determined based on budget, but that's kind of how it's gonna break down, and it's still budget based.
Yeah.
Cause like, we cannot make a promise that's always gonna be 3%.
Right.
We cannot do that.
That's right.
Um,
You gotta balance
But
it,
you
what
can-
the income is.
You could tier it on longevity.
right.
That,
And then that would be an incentive, like, you know what, if I stick around.
So what
Is
I
3 years long enough, or should it be 5, or?
So what I'll say is, I was actually thinking it'd be the other way around, where if you are here 0 to 3 years, you have a higher percentage increase because you got hired at a lower rate to get up to a place to want to stay. And then once you're there, it kind of like plateaus out a little bit.
That's what the ACD does.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's not a percentage, it's, well, if it's a percentage, it's a lower percentage, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we can do flat rates.
We like
Yeah.
you stick around. And then by the third year, hopefully you like the team enough that you will stick around.
Well, hopefully you're making
I get
a wage you can
Yeah, live on,
live on.
right?
do we need any more discussion on this, or you
I-
want to vote, or
I'm
I'd like-
satisfied.
where are we at here?
I'd like to tweak a little bit of words and come back to you at the next meeting
Okay,
with this.
sounds like that.
What you said about that, when the authority and tiering it higher for the newer hires makes sense to me. I
Okay.
hadn't considered that.
And I have a real poor simplistic methodology after running a farm for 45 years. The cow don't produce, he's not getting more milk, he's liable to go to beef. You produce more, you get more.
And the easy one that we could have today is I just pulled out all of the board specific things from our employee handbook. Because one thing Dawn did mention, she was like, you should really be making sure that everyone's doing the ethics training
And
every
signing
year
the conflict.
and signing the conflict of
Yes.
interest every year.
Yes,
So I just pulled out all the stuff that I want to make sure you guys read.
I don't have any problem, I didn't have any problems with this one, Lauren.
Okay.
So it was all stuff I'd seen before, so.
Except there was one question for a whistleblower. There's supposed to be like a place where staff could send the whistleblowing notice that I don't have access to. We could also designate a board member as like the designated whistleblowing receiver,
President,
the chair.
yeah, the chair.
That's what I think, it should
Yeah.
be the chair, and
Chair.
the chair needs to take action, it can't be ignored.
See ya.
Hey, Walter, thank you.
Walter, if you want to call in on Zoom, you're welcome to. I don't know where you're going, but,
Oh, right now I gotta go pick up a tire.
oh, okay, never mind. Didn't know if you were driving by Penisburg
Nope.
and all the service that is there,
All the what?
the service, like. cell
Oh,
service.
yeah,
Um. And then this is the whole, like, if there's a grievance process.
do we have a vice chair officially?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You'd be great.
I'm the
No,
treasurer.
she's in charge of, yeah, I thought you were the vice chair.
Oh, am I?
I
You-
thought
You great at that.
You didn't even smell the diesel on that bus.
So I'll formalize this too and bring it to the next
Okay,
meeting.
and
You
bring
guys-
the things we need to sign.
So what if a whistle is blown? What do I do with it?
There's a
Oh.
whole process.
Yeah, how to
Oh,
investigate.
geez. All right.
There's a state
Believe
agency
me,
that
I've
would
been
help
down there.
us.
Once that happens, we'll meet it.
Yeah,
Well,
Cross that bridge when
somebody
it
is blowing a whistle to you instead of to Lauren, that means Lauren should not be consulted.
yes. You
That's
probably
what
should go
that's
straight
what
to
that
Michelle.
means.
Oh,
You have to go to Michelle
Michelle
Monroe,
or
the
Willie.
ACD, or
Actually, you should probably go to Willie.
well, I don't know about Willie at this point.
who's Willie? Oh, you mean NRCC?
Yeah,
definitely.
he's probably who you should actually go to officially.
Depends upon the nature of it. I
Sure.
mean, if
Yeah.
it's financial malfeasance, it's probably him, but if it's like just a conduct issue and need some advice on how to handle it,
Play
then
on it, but I'd go to Michelle
I was
first.
gonna say,
you know Michelle.
just notify.
I know her, and at this point, Willie hasn't showed me too much. He's missed a couple of meetings, but I'd say he's the chairman.
She's still working full-time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Work and
Okay.
whatever his problem is. Don't bring your problems to work.
Okay, we're.
Which one are we looking at now?
Yeah.
Sorry, this was the board of supervisor handbook, so we gotta move on our agenda. The next thing is the DM review, which is gonna happen tomorrow at 4 here, so we don't need any time on
Anybody
that.
can join us. Linda and I are prepared.
But I would like to still go into an executive session about a different topic. And it was officially noted that there might be an executive session, so we can.
Turn the owl off.
So we need a motion to go into.
Make a motion to go into executive session. Shoot
I'll
the
second
owl.
that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried going into executive session.
I should probably leave before you.
Hold on the whole time.
Is it?
I will,
Delete
Make sure
that.
you,
I can, yep, I will go trim that. I
Okay.
100% promise. I apologize. I hit pause.
so I'm gonna make a motion.
Arena. Sorry.
Oh,
So we're back out at 4:51.
And that recording did not go correctly, so I will edit that. I apologize. I've never done that before.
We're back out at
Everybody's human.
4:51.
Yep.
You should see me when I'm trying to run a meeting and multitask and show things on my computer.
The owl, I don't think was off, so we gotta go back and do something
Okay.
there.
so
Can't multitask.
I'd like to make a motion that you contract with Fitzgerald to finish the project on the Boudreaux floodplain final redesign. I need a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
I just, for the record, would like to compliment Lauren on the job she did with this project.
Add that for the record.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Agree.
Um,
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
yes. My time off update. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've done a terrible job, but I have lots of blocks over the next 2 months to take some time off, assuming that the dam goes according to order. Huh? It's a big assumption. It's been a time. But I'm hoping to
Did you have a second on the dam project? Anybody helping you?
Mel is my backup there.
Okay,
Yep, she's been a couple times.
okay.
And are we concerned? I don't even know how I know this. Are we concerned that it seems like the son is running the excavator, which is obviously the business end of things, and he's 21 years old, and is that gonna help?
I was running one at 14.
I know, me too.
The excavator?
Yes,
That's
I
good,
grew up
thank you.
having to run, she grew up on a farm, earth movers and everything.
Wow, what, not every farm had an excavator. We had backhoe back then.
Oh, yeah.
We are not concerned that
Okay,
there's an experience issue there, that
Okay.
Everything that's gone wrong has not been in any way something that he could have controlled.
okay. I just wanted
Yeah.
to say that. Somehow I knew.
Well, it got delayed. Yeah, it was the biggest thing, right? We got a late start.
We got a late start
Yeah.
because the Army Corps had no
Okay.
engineers to approve our projects, and then
Mhm.
there was this whole. It was the
Okay.
first implementation project, so that we didn't know about bonding, and that all got
Mhm.
messed up, and then it just,
I was just asking.
yeah.
If it was a comedy of errors, it just is. Life is like that.
Comedy of
I mean,
errors.
fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon your perspective, we're having a drier spring than normal, right?
Yes. Yeah. May have had some rains lately, but we've been picking out ramps and leaks and dry. Yeah. Anyway, and I know this is an off comment, Linda, my son's running an excavator, sitting on a barge in the Hudson River,
Oh, God.
and mother's right off. Oh,
Oh, my
I
gosh.
missed it.
I can't imagine.
That's how they got 100-ton excavator down into Manhattan, barged it down the river. Cause there's no roads that would accept it, right? That's how, I said, what do you mean? We barge it down, then we offload it. Whew.
Fun stuff, board retreat.
That's
Yes.
July something.
July 13th. Is it in your phone?
That's all day, and then our 80th birthday party is that night. So you're gonna be hanging out all day with us.
It's a Monday, right?
It's a Monday.
I'm gonna
Okay.
get so yelled at by my coach. But I will let her know in advance.
It was literally the only day all summer
I
you can all
know.
commit to.
I know.
Where's the site?
We're gonna do it at the Fairfield Community Center in East Fairfield,
Nice.
where the jig in the valley
And
is.
so you've got instructional integrities coming to that. That's why it said East Fairfield.
So it's a proposal, so they
Okay.
would, that's my proposal, but nothing is contracted.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
God.
What do you
We gotta
mean by
release the
structural
following.
integrity is coming
And I'm
to?
not gonna practice.
they are a financial consulting.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
I'll be.
And so I guess I kind of wanted to know if you all had strong opinions about what you want at a 8-hour board retreat that we can probably do like 6 hours of work during.
A 14th star.
That
That's what I
is
want at
the-
an 8-hour board retreat.
At the end. I think some financial training would be helpful. I saw that and I also, maybe we review some of the ethics stuff together. Maybe we do a quick review of some of the open meeting laws stuff, just as a refresher for us. We've got a number of new board members, Lauren. I'd like to see some history and training for the new board members. And maybe we can pull right from what VACD already put together, which I don't think any of our board members participated in because I asked for a list.
So my gentle plan was to just keep sending you guys training materials till then too, because some of it I feel like is stuff to review on your own.
Mhm.
And so I sent out several things on April 10th. I'm not sure if anybody got to those. I'm happy to send them around again.
It was still snowing.
It was still snowing then. And that included our handbook, all of the slides from VACD, a guide to Robert's rules, and then a video about the past, present, and future of conservation districts. So
What I would like to see somewhere in this gathering is a state of the district. Just you basically give a one over the world. And whether you go back to the strategic plan and say, here's where 3 years ago we were, this is where we thought we wanted to go, and here's what we've attained, and here's how we've adjusted it because we changed this. Just how do we get to where we are right now? Really, and I think it'd be really good to remind us of how much progress has been made.
Yeah.
That's
And
very
a
good.
lot of that's gonna be, atta girls all around, but that's good too.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, this is a
Well,
remarkable.
and on that
organization.
note, do we spend a little time doing strategic planning looking forward? I mean, that's usually what a all-day board retreat would
Right,
be.
usually,
Or
yeah.
some of the visionary discussions that you want to have but never have time in a monthly board
Yeah,
meeting.
you dust off, is there one or two things in the strategic plan that have always been, well, we'll get to that, but we never really nug down on it? That might be
Mhm.
a time to, I don't know, but I'd like to, here's our goals, here's our mission, here's our values, here's where we're clearly meeting or exceeding, here's areas that we need to improve, here's what we've got coming up.
Can our 3 associates join us? Have they all committed?
I will check with them. I imagine Walter might not be able to
Yeah,
do a full
that's
day,
true.
but
Yeah.
All the retreats I've ever been to, you did some personal development as a team too. You did some kind of
Team building exercise.
team building exercise that opens your minds to each other's knowledge base or funny quirks or whatever, or makes you okay with people's quirks or whatever. Some kind of board strengthening exercise.
Mhm.
That was the 14th star part.
Yeah, that was.
That'll help a
Go ahead,
lot.
Julie.
So I do have it on my calendar, and I like the idea of how we got here, and a little bit of like some of the history. I've been kind of quiet today because I'm just kind of taking stuff in. Like when I joined the Enosburg Conservation Commission, we're a lot more low key than this, but still, like I just kind of sat and listened for the first year just to figure out what was going on, before I felt like I kind of had more of an opinion. So that's kind of why I'm still quiet for a lot of it, just trying to wrap my head around things. So yes, we do need to look forward, but I love the idea of a little more of the background, um, to, get me and maybe Karen, and if Walter can make it, like, get us
Well,
a little
and Linda's still
more up to
fairly new
speed.
too.
Yeah.
And like just
Um,
learning about the history of conservation districts and how the movement came around and, really understanding NRCC versus VACD and,
Yeah.
because sometimes I feel like your eyes just glass over. You guys don't even know who these
And I think,
organizations
Rick,
are.
you're a wealth of knowledge in terms of how long you've been doing this. You could certainly, if you would sit and.
But I'm getting intimidated.
I mean, we could have an hour of just acronyms 101.
Well, but I think that Julia, is it Julia? That's her name, right?
Yeah.
No, Julie, who's the
I'm
woman that
just
works
Julie.
for VACD?
Julia.
Julia, so
Julia.
we could very easily just look at the training she just provided for new board members. And maybe we don't ask everybody to go through the whole thing, or maybe it's homework. And you see it ahead of time and come back with more of a structured
That too.
discussion about what did you observe? What continued questions do you have? Walter's back.
I wanted
Did
to.
he leave something? Did you leave
I
something?
do lose.
I did what I had to do. They were just gonna close. So yes, I did get tired.
We're talking about the board retreat.
Right.
See, I guess my big question is, we probably could have 6 hours of productive time, I feel like, in an 8-hour day. With a lunch and
You gotta eat.
I've met you guys before. And so I'm wondering what the best use of our time all sitting down in a space together is. And it sounds like maybe doing some grounding, some team building, and some strategic planning. And maybe we actually have the financial piece another day. That might really exhaust us.
Financial piece being.
What would,
A training on like financial management from a consultant.
what would success be for you? For this
So
day?
we do need to redo our strategic plan because ours actually expired at the end of this year.
Okay, so maybe that's the focus of this retreat is.
Yeah.
Strategic plan review, update,
And that goes well with the history. If part of it was the history, I think we've named way too many things.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick and choose and I'm gonna send you homework in advance and I'm gonna
Okay.
need you to do it.
So
And I'm gonna trust that you did it. And if you didn't do it and you don't know what's going on,
shame.
that's not my fault.
Okay.
Okay,
We
great.
all get in a circle. It's part of the team building activities where we all get in a circle.
I was
Okay.
hoping for team building. We can do the shame thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really good to learn more about each other. I mean, Linda and I had a conversation the other day. And, we don't know much about each other personally.
Yeah.
And it was really
It was
fun to
delightful.
just get to know each other a little bit better.
It was.
I fully agree. Let's have a
So-
long lunch too.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I asked Karen at one point a little bit about her background, but it just like, I guess because of my age or whatever, it's just gone. I can't remember. I know she owned her own business, but,
Yeah.
and I know
And I
Julie has a
haven't-
farm, right?
Julie had a farm.
Had a farm.
We've got some
Walter's
other
in
plans in the
construction.
works to get back into ag though. So
Yeah,
Oh,
in
nice.
construction. And,
Yep.
I know you worked for the guard and Richard was a dairy farmer. And on the board for 50+ years,
No, not quite 50, but
getting there,
getting there.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
so.
Okay, go ahead.
Something that I was gonna ask, and I don't know, yeah, it sounds like there is plenty to do. We had like a brief conversation before this meeting, and you were kind of like laying out like some very like broad terms of like the funding pool that we're working with and just what that landscape is.
Yep.
Because I think it seems to, I think that there's a lot of business experience in the milieu of the board nonprofit experience as well, but even then, like, it just seems like the funding, even with like nonprofit might be a closer to this funding structure, but it just seems unique and it seems to really have a bearing on the decisions that we're making and like that we're making, and that would be much different from, say, running a business or running your run-of-the-mill nonprofit or what have you.
Good point.
I just felt like you were saying some things and I was like, that sounds important. And I'm seeing dynamics happen, but I have no idea where that's coming from, or, it's like, yeah. So would love to learn more about that. I don't know if that could fit into the board meeting or the strategic planning, or if it's just a meeting that we have together, but
Yeah.
it feels like it might be something that's helpful to the board.
I can pull something together with that.
Yeah.
Of what is the faith that we're running on?
Yeah. Cause there's an engine and it's running.
Yeah. So just understand that.
But how long will the fuel last?
Right, yeah, are they putting more ethanol in it? But in the end, there is an engine there and like, there's some things that we can rely on and trust.
Are we gonna get to the building stuff today?
So I guess
Got it pretty much written out though.
Yeah.
And it's basically pretty much what you're looking for.
I just want to confirm because I feel like we've seen it. We've seen a couple places, and I feel like half of us are thinking one thing and half of us are thinking another thing. And I'm having a hard time advising Carrie for what we are looking for.
So
And-
what's the question of the iffy part?
How old is too old? That's a good question.
So my questions are: do we want to lock in? It can be more than 10 minutes from the 89 and an 89 exit.
Well, if it's 12, 15 minutes, come on.
So that's what
It doesn't have to be locked in at 10.
that's why I'm asking the question.
Okay.
15 or 20 might be,
That's a little bit.
the perfect place, 20 minutes from the exit 89, the exit.
Is it the exit or an exit?
And exit.
So right now it's an exit.
Yeah, so it could be Georgia, it could be 18, 19, or 20.
Correct.
Those exits.
I'd say 20 minutes.
I don't think we want to be at 21, do we?
I would love to have this conversation.
21
I'm
is
not
Swanton.
sure.
Okay, that's okay. What's 22? There's one more up there,
That's
right?
Canadian border.
Yeah. We know what 22.
Okay, so
But from Georgia to Swanton,
is okay.
yeah, Georgia Swan's okay.
20 minutes max. And that gives you can really cast a wider net.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
For the right property.
Right.
Right. If it checks every other box.
Yes, and
Okay.
it's just amazing and,
Yeah.
So do we have a list of must-haves?
That's what we're working on.
That's on there.
Okay,
Okay.
that's what you're doing. Got it.
I don't know that we need to have the existential question up the top. Why do we want to buy a building? I think we could have that conversation, but
I just walk up during a business day upstairs and you'll see it's pretty cramped.
Tough going.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that ferocious guard dog that hates men. I like.
Is that
Willow.
Lauren's dog?
Willow's
He's been
awesome.
having a month. I
Willow's
have
awesome.
have two roommates and they seem to have changed her personality.
Oh, good.
So I think I'm gonna be leaving her home every
Oh,
day
no,
now.
that, I'm not saying
It
that.
wasn't just you.
She,
She's being a little bit.
Cantankerous.
So. Anyway. Do we want to need renters?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Don't you
think
need
that-
to make money?
do you mean four need renters?
Make money
No.
or spend $3,500 a month for rent?
Yeah, so there's like this math that you do on that $3,500 for rent. I can't remember the specifics of it, but like unless you get the perfect deal, that $3,500 is just cost of doing business. And then if you have other things in place that go along with your purchase, great. But otherwise, the $3,500 a month is just the cost of doing business. Now, if you're moving because the staff can't function great in this, that's a whole nother matter. But I am so tapped into how stressed sometimes I feel you are juggling already. And I've built places, I've renovated places, I've done it, and it's completely over the top. And
Well, I
just-
think that the only way we could do it is that one of us steps up and takes
that's,
the lead.
yes, I just think
So
that
we
there's,
don't let Lauren
Right.
into that trap.
right,
And, I think that there's the positive side of renters, but the renters can cause problems. That creates a whole nother level of
Yeah, crazy.
stress for whoever's managing it.
Yeah,
Like if I was here year round, I'd say, let me be the general contractor and I'll do this. And just make it happen, because I love the idea of working with the realtor and trying to find a place and managing all this for everybody. But I do not want to manage a lease agreement with renters. I'm not taking that on.
and me neither.
And you don't want to do it, and
No.
Richard doesn't want to do it, and Dan doesn't want to do it. And
I guess
so,
I'm just always gonna be focused on whether we can pay for the stuff we can't foresee if we own a building.
yeah, and I agree with that.
Okay.
And then, do we try to get a building that doesn't have very many maintenance issues? Because my problem with the Sewell property or an old building is that, oh my God, that's,
Unforeseen,
being a 200-year-old old
right?
Georgia farmhouse owner, it's like,
What
oh
if we
my
started
God.
backwards and looked at this, like, why did we walk away from the Sewell property? Why did we not like the Dr. Johnson's property? Why did we, like, what are we
Too
seeing in
expensive.
those properties? Okay,
So it was too expensive.
Sewell was too expensive, and then there was all the money you'd have to pour into it. It was
Yeah.
Right.
never ending.
It was a
But-
dream, but I think we're not ready for that.
We were
I
gone.
can see the district
Yeah.
wanting to do that and be
Yeah.
able to do that in 10 years or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Good part.
right.
Yeah.
It is.
What was wrong with
But
the
we're not
Johnson
there yet.
property?
Yes, agreed.
Huh?
Dr. Johnson's property, what was wrong with that?
I felt like it was overpriced for the amount of
Yeah.
work it needed to be done.
Same thing.
And I would not be at all opposed to us going back to that if they can't sell it.
How much did they
I
want?
wasn't a
They
fan,
wanted half a
Here is
million.
their listing agent, so we couldn't use her for it, I don't
Yeah.
think.
I wasn't a fan of the location.
Right.
Really? I
I-
liked the location for the staff.
And
I
I-
loved the location
For
for
the
the staff.
staff,
So this is what we need to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. Cause there's conflict. So what,
We're not there every day, guys.
no,
It doesn't have to be a country setting.
it does, but it doesn't have to, it has to be the capabilities of agricultural people going there. Are we building this for the staff? Are we building this for our agricultural people?
Yes.
Or looking,
this is your decision.
Well, how many farmers come into the office?
And
A year?
year.
A year?
We're not building it for the farmers.
Okay, there you go.
well.
I mean, they go to
the
the
whole
USDA building because they have to.
Here's where I'm gonna get,
Richard, there's
the whole
options.
damn thing in this country, that's the problem.
Well,
We,
Let's just-
And
we
you
go to
won't
that.
realize it
Let's-
in your lifetime, and mine isn't long to go,
well,
but these guys will.
it's all gonna be done remotely anyway. I mean, the way USDA is going, they're even moving to allowing farmers to set up remotely. However, they have to go to USDA to make their crop reports. A lot of that stuff is not even allowed electronically yet, unless things have changed since I retired. So that's the
That's okay.
difference. The district is going to the farmers. The farmers aren't coming in to the office, which I think is better service for the agricultural community.
Well, there's gonna be less of them anyway, it's getting easier.
So my personal feeling is, where if we can do some demonstrations somehow, that's important, like,
I think so too. for
I
some-
don't know, that's gonna be extra work for the staff, but I really
think
do
so.
think having sort of a native plant, this is what this plant looks like, this is what this plant looks like,
Yeah,
something,
good.
someplace where somebody,
Cuttings from.
yeah, that you could either get some cuttings from, or that it can be used as an education piece,
the
or
house.
something.
Right.
Can be that's the role of the district. And we always have leftover seedling sales, so we have a seedling,
Yeah,
so we
so-
have a supply
In
of
this-
stuff.
In that thought process, that's why we need a little bit of land.
Well, that would be ideal. I
Yeah.
agree, a little bit of land would be ideal, but for me, it's not a deal breaker.
No, but with that brought in, it definitely should have a little bit of land,
Can so
these overflows.
Although it does
making an
require-
observation just on where the discussion's at, I've noted something I've noticed is maybe that there's this that maybe the expectations on Lauren around this are a little bit confusing and the signals are a little bit confusing because
Absolutely.
maybe we're not in a decision-making stage of this, we're maybe in a more brainstorming
There you go.
stage.
Yeah,
And I think I think it would be good to approach it maybe not everything we say here is hard and fast. We're not looking at a specific property right now.
right.
We're talking about grand scheme of things, what are some of the things that we like? And something I proposed to Lauren in our discussion was what if we made a few different models of properties and how they could work? Like we looked at that one down in St. Albans, and there was potential for renters, but it was a fixer upper. And so you've got that, and then you've got like plot of land, we're building a building for office space on, and maybe slowly adding on to it. Or there's old country farmhouse that we're restoring. Like these are different models, and how can we get what we want out of it? And then Lauren has something like, once we've kind of settled on a few different ideas, then Lauren can go look for deals that fit
Or the
those
realtor
categories,
can.
or the realtor can go look for situations that fit that category, and then we can assess them on a rubric of like, as opposed to just being like, here's this thing, let's look at it. Oh, here are all these reasons that it could go wrong. Well, everything has, like, looking at different properties, there's a million reasons how anything could go wrong. It's way easier to shoot it down than to like kind of build a constructive consensus around it. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to find something wrong with everything.
Maybe there's a point there that we write up sort of 3 possible scenarios. Build something new on a plot of land. As long as Lauren's not managing the building process.
So can we just be frank, like, no one here is gonna step up for that, so
No.
that's not even an option.
I don't think it is either. I'm not
Yeah.
stepping
What
up
if
for that.
we all came together and brought together like our dreams for what the property could be, like what we think could be moving, like you were saying about the native plants, and what you were saying about like agricultural folks being able to come there and use it as a resource. Like, what if we just had a list of those, and then Lauren was able to file them?
As far as your plants and stuff and educating people, you couldn't do it.
There was that little green space.
Yeah, well,
So maybe that's homework for all of us between now and the next board meeting.
Yeah, think about a bunch of
We
different
write up
things
what
that
the
could be offered.
ideal office looks
Yeah.
like for
That's a
us.
good
and
idea.
if I was approaching 80, I might, but I'm not.
Right,
I'm tired,
I agree.
period.
We're not
Right,
judging
so
anybody
if we're
for
just all being realistic about like,
busy
what are we
lives
willing to do?
where we're at.
Yeah.
Richard.
And like, let's not
It's
let's
just
not choose
my
something
life.
that we're not
Not
willing
gonna
to do.
happen.
Right.
Right.
What's left of it.
Yes, I think that's the real deal.
Okay.
Let's not choose something, let's not put out anything that we can't,
Right.
yeah, maybe we just put out, like, I love Vicky's suggestion. What's ideal?
Yeah.
And
I-
we get
idea-
ideal.
There's
Yeah,
so
go
many
ahead.
variables at play. Like, what if Lauren made us a list of like 10 attributes, the space, the acreage, proximity to 89, and then gave it to each of us, and each of us has to rank everything 1 through 10. You can't have 5 things that are your favorite and 5 are your least. Like, each of us actually ranks proximity to 89, and like, so that way we can kind of see exactly where everybody puts each thing. Maybe we all lump proximity to 89 in the middle, but there's things that are more polarizing because we're talking about so many different variables all at once, and we go from one thing to the next to the next. And
It's a good point.
maybe,
I think
you
she's
know,
already
maybe we
done
can
that.
just really
I can
Rank
update
it.
this a little bit and send it out for
That's
people
a
to
very
rank.
good point.
Yeah, that's a very good
Yeah, I like
point.
that.
But you were almost there already. She's got
Yeah, we're not far from that.
10 already.
And
Right on
to
the
remind
agenda.
everybody, we're paying for rent for the last bullet. So that
We
everybody knows.
Currently
we're
are
already
paying
paying.
about $3,000
Yeah.
a month here.
Does that include,
That includes all utilities.
okay, because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And cleaning, or do you
We
clean?
clean.
We're a little behind.
Yeah, we're a little behind. Don't mind the office.
In a busy month.
You had a couple of things on your.
And
Yeah, you don't have anything going on.
And none of that is to say that the right thing might just come along. But
Right.
if we put something out there that's a bit more concrete so Carrie can look for it
Yeah,
and not have us going schlepping into some places that are obviously out of the question.
right.
You
Well, I
never
think,
know.
Because
I think just getting us all on the same page
Yeah.
about
Mm.
priorities. I feel
Buy into
like
that.
some people loved the Johnson property And then some people hated it and it was like, oh, okay, I actually don't know what direction we're aligned
Well,
on.
I think that, we're gonna have to think about, from the budget perspective, we're gonna have to think about getting back to our earlier discussion about the emergency situations and what if the heater goes out and what if this goes out and, that as a building owner, we're gonna have to have enough slippage in our budget. So right now we're paying 3K. Maybe you only want to pay 2K. So we have an extra $1,000 a month that we basically bank for the what ifs.
I don't know that I like building equity. Having owned my house for 2 years now, I don't know that continuing to rent is a bad idea. I don't think this is the space we want to continue to rent. But I also don't know that
That's another way. to
Are
look
you
at
even
it,
looking
too.
for that?
I'm not currently looking for that.
That's another perspective to look at. Maybe we don't have to own. Maybe we could find a better rental
Right.
situation, because I see in a rental situation, you don't have to worry about plowing the snow, maintaining the building, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that may be better
Worth it.
with the group of people you work with. Me and Walter, we could fix things, and maybe they can't do it. I'm just saying.
No,
Okay,
I gotta
Dan-
have you for that.
Danny and Walter,
Give me 6 months and then I can come fix things.
but anyway, it's a different mindset.
Right.
I think that's
Fix it
better. I think that we can't look at rent like you do in your personal life.
No.
None of us will do what we're doing right now forever. We're not personally responsible for this thing, but we are responsible for its wholeness, its health.
Yeah,
And so renting is just the cost of doing business, whether you're a dentist or
but the cost of doing business in
But this,
a facility that's better
that's better.
adapted.
Yeah,
to
that
us.
fits better. What maybe,
I'm not against renting.
Well, and so,
If
Well,
it's
and
a facility that fits in better.
go ahead.
if we
Julie.
get another rental, it doesn't mean that we can't buy in a year or two.
That's
Like if
right.
we find a better situation, it doesn't stop things. It
Correct.
just gives us a better situation for a while.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here till October, right? If you don't buy.
We can stay here for 3.5 more years. No problem.
But we can leave anytime we want.
We can leave anytime we want if we buy. We can leave after November if we
Rent.
rent.
That's what I thought. That's why I was trying to clarify.
Yeah.
We
What
have
would-
to stay here until October unless we buy through October.
What would be the reason to leave for a different rental? Obviously, the price point would be something.
Basically,
Better
terms of
layout
scale,
it's
upstairs.
better layout.
I was worried about all the pointy corners.
We're filling up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We have,
and it's an awkward thing. Gotta
It's
go up the
awkward thing,
elevator.
Go up the elevator to, you know.
it's a,
And-
no, it's a decent location. The windows
So
are
much light on that side, it.
Well, honestly, I remember the walkthrough, I thought there was a little bit of a bait and switch that was done. Because I was
Yeah,
under the impression
yeah.
that we were getting
Correct,
upstairs.
correct,
And
We were
that,
supposed to get this upstairs.
yeah, and that was contiguous.
yeah.
And that didn't happen,
No, it did not.
so,
I will say they did not charge us at all to use their warehouse space for our tree sale.
okay,
So that was very kind. And they cleaned it.
well, that's good.
So I agree with that piece. And they have been really good landlord.
Okay, Okay.
except for the internet.
It's kind of minor having to ride an elevator. It's really not the
Well,
worst thing.
it is, but it's not, it's not functioning well. As far as I'm
Kind of
concerned.
sucks when it rains.
Yeah.
just up there, it seems so cramped when I.
But if we're trying to like
Few times I've
optimize
looked
certain things, is continuity of space the top priority?
well, I don't want us to try and solve one problem
And create another.
and create 5 others maybe,
Right.
right? That's the main thing.
Well, so I think too, at one point in time, we were thinking of buying a building as building long-term equity so we could sustain this organization when the grants dry up and we could make money off of it. And I think maybe the economy has
Change.
economied
Mhm.
and owning a building may have more cons than pros
At this point.
at this point,
Okay.
especially the ones we can afford that might be older than any of us feel comfortable with. And so I think maybe that's where we actually start this conversation of why do we want to buy a building, or do we just need to get a
No,
better
and
rental?
I was proponent of wanting to buy a building. but not the way that the economy has changed. And again, we could rent. Sometimes that's a better option.
Right,
Cost per month, per year is better.
right.
But
Yeah,
if the option came up, if you totally dissolve the funds, you can't move on the right property.
Certainly, certainly.
What's an escrow, I call it.
So I think,
well, we talked about having, Richard, we talked about having at least 2 months of operating expenses on hand anyway. And
we settled on two.
we settled on two,
Settled on two.
because we wanted the flexibility to buy a building.
Right.
Sure.
Surely there's some benefit to having a lot more than two.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances we're in particular.
But in that aspect, if you're banking on or utilizing that, that means the business is nosediving when you gotta go into that.
So I think the only reason we would touch that is if, again, there's like a COVID event where we are going to get paid
Mhm.
and we have the contracts in
Yeah,
place, but
okay,
it's just
that-
like, we gotta get through 2 months. We're
That
never
I
gonna
could-
spend that down if we don't have,
That my thick head can understand.
we're
Just
not
to
gonna spend that
dissolve
down.
that
Right.
because the business is going, no.
No, it's just to get us
Not on my,
through.
not on my watch.
The cash flow.
So I'm gonna give everybody some homework, but also like, please think about what your vision is for the future of the district. And let's do a 2-year outlook. Cause that's probably a safe bet right now.
Does Carrie do rentals too? Can she
Um,
miss rentals?
I definitely know
Some
she
realtors do.
is a realtor who rents spaces out for people. Cause I've seen her name on some rentals
Okay.
in town. So think about that. Okay, sorry, I know it's 5:30.
Can I say also, we started talking about this at least a year ago. And so I think we've always all acknowledged that the business environment climate is different. And now and it seemed like we were 18 months away and we couldn't suffer this place for another 18 months, but we have.
Yeah.
So we could probably suffer it for another 5.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't
So-
think that's gonna be a problem.
Right.
I think it's gonna be a couple of years.
But
Very well
But
might
I'm
be.
just saying.
Yeah,
So maybe if we can hold our nose for another 5 and we find the right rental, then we can put ourselves in a position to just be laid back about our choices as far as waiting for the right property to come.
sure.
I'm just,
Yeah.
that's what I would do if I was.
if we had more secure funding from the state that wasn't so topsy-turvy. Or if we'd seen this kind of funding sustained for 10, 15 years and there wasn't as much doubt about it being secured that long, I would feel better. But like the New York districts each district gets a minimum. It used to be 50. I don't, it's probably higher than that now.
Last I heard it was 50. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Each district gets a minimum of $50,000 from the state. And then they get county funding because they have a county government, and then they can earn more. They can take on more work and earn more money.
Yeah.
The way it works. So if we had a model like that, that was a little bit more reliable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this was helpful. A couple of events I just wanted to highlight. Tomorrow, if you want some help plant and maintain the food forest at Hardak, Dorothy will be there all day. We are tabling at the Enosburg Dairy Days. June 5th and 6th or something like that.
Then we got 5 and 8 there.
6 and 7.
Do
Oh,
they give
sorry.
you parking? It can get a little crazy.
They have not, sorry.
I
It
live
should
right
just be
around the
6 and 7.
corner, so if we need parking or something, I'm a quarter of a mile away, and if there's anything I can do to help with my property being so close.
Okay. I would like to open an opportunity, if anybody would like to help us table, we'd love to have you. And sit with a staff member. July 13th is the board retreat and the 80th birthday party, and then we will also be tabling at the Franklin County Field
That
Days.
should be July versus 3rd June.
It should be July, yes.
And they're gonna have field days again this year?
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
When is it?
July 30th through August 1st.
June.
Not June, sorry, I will fix that.
Sure.
And then I've already booked our next board meeting because we're having a joint board meeting with Lamoille and Grand Isle
Oh, cool, okay.
on June 10th from 3 to
Supposed to
5.
do that pretty, this is part of the training is what are supervisory unions and why do we care?
Yes. So that's when our next board meeting will be. It'll probably be, we'll all be here if you want. And then Claire's probably gonna zoom in for like the first hour and then we'll have an hour of our own business.
Say June
Thank
10th.
God it's open.
Okay.
So I hear 3 to 5, what time?
Yes, yep, 3 to 5. And then our July meeting will be the board retreat. So those are scheduled. Thank you for another marathon. Sorry, there's just a lot to do.
Yeah.
We're making big moves.
We are,
Good.
and you did a lot of work to prepare all this stuff for today. That's
Yes, thank you
amazing.
so much.
I was like blown away when you sent it all to me. It's like, when did you have time to do this?
All right.
You
so
did
4
for
o'clock
increasing a
tomorrow.
week if that explains anything.
We have Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Julie.
Bye.
All right, thank you.